Welcome to a new episode of Outside the Panels with your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes.
Welcome everyone to an episode of Outside the Panels. I'm your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes, and this time around, I've got something a little bit different for you to have a look at. We've all seen motion comics in the past. The Watchmen one springs to mind. Scarlet Couture a couple of years ago. This one takes it to the next level. Let me introduce to you the creator of such a beast. It is Rob Shields. Rob, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going? Good. How you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well.
Great to hear.
I'm intrigued. Call me a little bit old timer, which is fine. With my head, comics are comics, video games are video games. Why have you decided to merge the two together?
Well, to me, I think that comics are already like a merged technology or a merged medium. So it's like the merging of art and literature into a whole new format. So I get the idea that like if you have like a separate thing, it shouldn't be this other thing, but it's neither of those things, right? So like if you think about a movie, right? And people, a common thing they can complain is they'll say like, oh, well, it's not the book, right? But it's not supposed to be the book. If you went to the movie and it was the book, it would just be a bunch of words on the screen and you'd have to read it, which would be like awful. So it's like, it's a transformation or a transmutation of like what the thing is. So that's kind of what happens with this, where it's like, it's not a comic book and it's not a video game. It's a totally different medium. But I sort of explain it the way of like, it's a comic book and a cartoon and a video game because you know what those things are. Right. But it's a new medium that lets you tell stories in a different way that you could never tell before. So yeah, it's not going to be exactly those other things. But I do love comic books, and I wanted to pay homage to like the traditional comic experience. I think a lot of problems with motion comics and AR comics is that they throw too much of the comic book out. They just are like, oh yeah, we're just going to do this thing that doesn't feel like a comic book and it doesn't read like a comic book. Right. And I don't want to do that. And this book does actually work without the AR. If you want to, you can read it like a real comic book. And it is a real comic book. Like it is physical. You hold it in your hands, you turn the pages. Cause I want that. I want to own it. I want to feel the pages turn. So it does pay respect to that.
Excellent. Sorry. No, let's go for it. Hey, yeah, I asked the question. That's the answer. Fantastic. That's exactly how this is supposed to work. Well done. Not a traditional comic, not a traditional cartoon, not a traditional video game, but the best aspects of all three thrown together to give you a whole new experience. Correct?
Right. Yes.
Perfect. See, I should be in PR with stuff like that. I should be in PR. Yeah. What's the premise of the story then? The way it's put together is kind of the nuts and bolts. What's the hook to get the reader, the player, the watcher involved?
Right. So the idea is that the story is about a detective who's searching for a serial killer inside of an artificial reality where AI has stolen everyone's face. So it's kind of like a metaverse, but the AI that was supposed to run it kind of has gone amok and it's taken away everyone's face. So everyone's a skeleton. And so it's really hard to tell who did what. And people have kind of like amnesia from this that are inside the space. And then the meta twist is that the reader actually takes up the role of the detective. So the app turns your phone into like a detective's scanner, and you can scan the pages of the book. You can dox different characters. You can scan the crime scene and collect evidence. And then the book actually starts to realize what you're doing, and then it starts to kind of mess with you because it knows that you are trying to like figure it out. So it kind of has that idea where almost like the book is sentient and it like knows that you're messing with it. So it's kind of starting to push back a little bit. Wow. Which is why you can't really do that with other mediums. That's kind of where I was like wanting to push.
That's cool. Does that mean then that every reading experience or every experience with the book and the app is different? So the way I play it will be different to the way that my wife plays it, and so on and so forth. Will it give different sort of interactions?
No. So it's like the idea is that it's a singular story, and it does have a beginning, middle, and end. So it kind of avoids the choose your own adventure pitfalls where it's like if you do something wrong, it like kicks you out or it like says go back and do it again. Like none of that happens. There is a voting system that's built into it, so you can make certain choices that there's like 3 different points in the story where you're reach a crossroad, and you can pick your choice. And then what's going to happen is that it sends the data to me, and then I'm going to take the most popular choice, and it's going to become canon in the second issue. So if you're one of the people that's reading it first, you're going to sort of shape where the story goes. Not completely, so you're not going to go off the rails. We're still going to get to this one true ending. So you won't have to come up with your own ending, which is what Choose Your Own Adventure does. There will be an ending. You will help influence it. But it will, once that's done, like everybody that reads it after, they're going to see the story that the people that first read it decided on.
It's interesting because, I mean, Telltale did the Batman game a while back, didn't they? And there's kind of the interactions that you have with the character change nuances within the game, but you still get to where you need to get to. Just how you get there might be slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot about like what characters are going to maybe survive or what characters are going to get left behind. And like in video games, you can have that replayability and you can have like these multiple endings. But I think for like a comic book or like a movie, like you kind of just want there to be a satisfying story arc that it feels good when it's done, and it's not like, like go back and watch it again or watch it 4 times. It's like, I don't want to watch it 4 times. Like I want it to be good the first time. So
I remember how disappointed I was when playing Arkham City for about the 3rd time, and I decided at the scene where Catwoman has the choice to go with the money or go and save Batman. I was like, right, enough's enough. I'm sick of saving Batman. I want to live off the riches. Off I go. And then the game crashes and all this happens, and everything's like, whoa, the Joker won. How great's this? What a fantastic ending. And then it's like, press X to continue. You're like, what? Press X. And then it takes you back to the decision making. So you're like,
you didn't really get to make the decision.
I was like, all right, so basically you just give me a cutscene. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cheers for that. I mean, she looks great and all, but
Yeah, because it's hard. You can't like in the ideal world, you would be able to go infinitely down those other directions and make that whole other world appear. But like in reality, like the people that make this stuff, like maybe when AI starts making it, we can do that. But I think right now we should stick to like, this is going to be the good ending, because then there can be a surprise. And like, that's what you want from a story. You want it to like surprise you or to be a satisfying ending that, and it's hard to craft like 5 satisfying endings. Like there's going to be one really good one, and then there's going to be like the other bad ones. And that's not.
I think what'll happen is, or what could happen is, you've got one really good ending where everything works out. You've then got a really fantastic ending where everything doesn't work out. And then everything else falls in between. Shades shades of almost there and shades of not quite, and kind of I'd hate to be like a detective in an artificial reality game, going through the issues, go through it, and then at the end of the last page it's like case unsolved. Like what?
You didn't do it right. Go back.
You missed that. You missed out the details.
You missed that one little thing on that one page. 20 minutes ago.
Damn it.
We're not going to tell you where it is, though. You're going to have to go back, do it all again. Yeah, no, it's like that's not fun.
No.
I still want it to be entertaining and fun. So I call it like on rails. Choose your own adventure. So you can't derail the ride.
Cool. Right, you've got a trailer on YouTube. We're going to have a look at that now. So give me 2 seconds to get it all keyed up. We'll go multi-screen so we don't see my viewing history on the. I
love how YouTube just likes to expose all of us to what we've
you've been watching the Kansas City Chiefs. No, I haven't. I've been watching the Miami Dolphins. But
you'll like this. You'll watch this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. So here we go. Here is End of the World Pizza #1, the reveal trailer. Check it out. Wow, there you go. Why end of the world pizza?
So it's kind of like the idea that if they tell you it's the end of the world, they're trying to sell you something, and if they tell you not to panic, that's when you're really supposed to be scared. So it's kind of pushing more to this idea that like we are so, it's like a parody, like we're so inundated with this idea of the apocalypse, and that it's been used as almost like a marketing ploy to get us to like act in a certain way, or maybe we should buy certain things. And you can always go on Amazon and find your bug out bags and your bomb shelter kits and all that stuff. But yeah, it's just kind of like a commentary on our obsession with this theme.
Cool.
And to kind of make fun of it a little bit.
Cool. I'm all right with that. I remember when COVID hit. I don't know what it was like over where you are. Everyone was buying toilet rolls.
Oh yeah.
It's like the stock, and I'm thinking, why are we buying shed loads of toilet rolls? It's like you're locked down in your house, you're not going anywhere. Why do you need that much toilet roll? You know?
Yeah, especially what's like, I don't know. It's crazy. We react in a crazy way, and it seems illogical. I mean, I get it. People are like fending for themselves. I feel like it's like an American thing too, where it's like our Western philosophy is all about like the individual person as like the key thing. So everyone's like out for themselves, and I mean, there's benefits to that, but it has its drawbacks too. Cool. So yeah, a lot of that stuff is wrapped up into this like subtext of what's happening, because like all the characters in the story, they've uploaded their consciousness to like this cloud, so they're like probably the more wealthy people, and they want to just like be safe and live forever and just be themselves forever. Like they get to preserve their own identity forever, but like there's like all these problems that come along with that, like the idea that now they don't have a face anymore and they kind of lost their humanity. And some of the characters that are like more the potentially good characters, they worship pizza because it reminds them of what it was like to be human. Because they don't exactly remember what it is to be human, but they're like, we used to get together and we used to have this pizza, and it like brought us together, and like it's like family, it's community. So it represents like this ideal of like the good that used to be of being alive, even though now they don't eat because they're just programs, but they still love this pizza.
We all love pizza. We all love pizza. Right. So, yeah, we have I used to work this company, and this other guy, Dave. Both him and I, we like pizza, and very much like Fight Club, we came up with Pizza Club.
Okay.
And the rules of Pizza Club are this: is 1, all pizza is good pizza, and 2, there is no such thing as leftover pizza.
Yeah. It's true. Leftover pizza doesn't last.
Nah,
you can't.
I always say that because if we get pizza in, if we get delivered, we always have stuff left over. We do. So what I'll do is I'll keep it over and I'll have it for either breakfast or dinner the next day, right?
Right.
And I go to work with these cold slabs of pizza, and people go, cold pizza. I'm like, yeah, but cold pizza's like bad sex, still kind of good.
Yes, not really. Yes, you can't really complain.
Yeah, exactly right, man. You get pizza. What more do you want?
Yeah.
So you mentioned, especially in the trailer, you've mentioned AR. The video, the trailer shows kind of like a pseudonym type of world. Everyone's a program uploaded. How much do things like the kind of techno-punk era of sort of like things like the Matrix have an impact in kind of creating the world for you? Because the whole Matrix idea that you can download skills and skill sets and then load yourself up into a digital world where those rules don't apply. How's that kind of impacted you as a creator moving forward, especially on something like this?
Yeah, I mean, the Matrix is definitely an inspiration, but I would say this is more like the Grid in Tron, where like it's programs that they're at the mercy of the system that they're in, so they don't get like the cool thing about the Matrix is it's like the mix of the organic and the digital, and your organic is what gives you like the set apart from like the agents. But in this, it's like they're all agents, they're all part of the system, and so they're at the mercy of the system. And yeah, so it is kind of like more parallel to Tron, and then you are potentially the wild card because you're kind of pushing into it, but you are still organic, so you can live outside of the rules of the system. And the villain is the Machine Queen. She's like the AI that kind of runs the whole thing. She knows that she kind of can't control you like she can control everybody else in the story. So, but she tries. She's trying. So, yeah.
All queens are trying. I'm just saying. That.
They're trying.
Okay, I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that at all. Right, so we have the cover. I'm going to show you the cover for the book. It is, we're using it as our backdrop at the moment, so you can have a look at that. And I think this pretty much encapsulates what you're saying. I'm assuming that this person is said queen.
Yes, that's the Machine Queen.
Hey, don't mix it up with the Machine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, how hard is this, you know? Right, so this is the Machine Queen. A little Metropolis in there, maybe? Is that in there with the headset and everything? Bit Iron Maiden with the skull and the red eyes. Very clever. Like that a lot.
Some Geiger, too.
Yeah. I can see that, yeah, definitely. Now you've mentioned it, I can definitely see it. I didn't think I saw it before. As you're the right artist for this project, which did you find easier, writing or drawing?
I think drawing is probably a little bit easier. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, the writing, like, I feel like the drawing gets done faster. Like, I can see when it's done. Whereas the writing, I'm always like, you know what, this could be better. Like, this could be tighter. I can change this. I can make this more interesting. So I'm always like zooming out and zooming in on the writing to see like where are we going, and making sure that the dialogue is right and that doesn't sound like too, like, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to sound too smart or too cool or something like that. It's like, I really despise that stuff. So I want it to be, I want it to be smart and cool, but I want it to be like just easy to read and not, you know, like, yeah.
No, that's fine. It's interesting because for me, I see artists, I see writers as kind of people who want to tell a story but don't know how to draw. And I see artists as people who know what they want to say, but sometimes their creative side is just a tad too chaotic to get it structured. I don't know if that's a grand sweeping statement, so apologies if I've just sort of shed loads of writers and artists. So it's interesting when you get someone who does both to see how they kind of curb that, because you've got to, when you come up with an idea, Robbie, you're very much like, these are the key spots I need to do, these are the key action points or the key story points. Now, how do I get from A to B? Or do you kind of do it actually sequentially, like all the way through?
So for me, it's all about the characters. Like, I create the characters and then I realize what world they're in. And then I just kind of like hang out with the characters for a while to get to know them. And then I'm like, okay, what would they do in this situation? And for me, it's like, if the story's good, then I don't know exactly what's happening. It's still alive. I can still kind of just like follow the character down the rabbit hole and see what they do. And that's a big part of it for me. Because like all these complex ideas, like, they're great and all, but like they don't really, they need to be like backdrop to like characters that you care about. Because if you don't really care, either the villain or the heroes, you want it to be somebody that you're like invested in. I think it just really helps.
That's a fair point. Absolutely, you've got to buy into what you're writing or drawing, because otherwise, where does your passion go? Yeah, it's kind of, you've got to invest in that. You know, because if you invest in it, readers, players are going to invest in that as well. That's cool. Good shout. You mentioned earlier that you like comic books. Do you have a particular style brand? I know you've worked on heavy metal with their app previously. Are you an indie guy, or are you more of a big two kind of guy? Or is it a bit of both?
Growing up, I was big two. And then like maybe in like high school, college, I started doing like some really indie stuff that was really indie, like almost like R. Crumb, kind of like RVP Car and all the like reality comics, which now it's like I can't do that stuff anymore. Now I've moved on to like Japanese, so I really love manga because it feels like, I mean, it translates to anime, but it has like these action sequences and like things that are like really refreshing to me. And I'll still look at some like the main stuff that's coming out now. Like I like IDW and I like Image Comics and seeing what people are putting out. And
cool.
There's been a few that Image and IDW have done in the past that I've been interested in. But yeah, it's like I'm definitely not like I grew up reading Spider-Man and Superman, but I don't really do those as much now.
Right, each to their own. Right, you mentioned manga, so I would be remiss. I would be remiss if I didn't run this advert. So they've been off air for a month while they were getting all the stuff together. I have it at time of recording. They are 2 days away from dropping their newest video, and as always, Freya is Halloweening it up, so she's going to be Batgirl for all of October. Hope you enjoy it. This is K-Pop Cosmos. Check it out. If I press the right button, there you go. This is what I should do. There you go, K-Pop Cosmos. When I hit the right button, what can I say? Technology. Technology and I do not mix that well. I started the show the other day and I said the totally wrong opening line. I was like, oh my God, how far have I fallen? How far have I fallen?
I mean, you're doing a video podcast, so I mean, you're more technology savvy than you give yourself credit for, I would say.
Oh, bless you. Bless you. Good call. Thank you. I'll take that. I shall take that as a compliment. Right. I've only made like 17 mistakes so far. I'm joking. There's only been one. All right. We had a chance to look at the comic book because you were kind enough to send me in advance of that. Let's have a look. It's coming up now. He says, pressing the button. There he is. There you go. Sans the red eyes on that one. Right. What is it when we think about the art? You've gone for black and white format. Why black and white?
So it allowed me to create the animation a lot faster and a lot more detailed. And then it also gave me kind of like this noir kind of vibe to it, almost like a Sin City style thing. And I was really liking that. I've done full color AR comics before, so I knew that the workload for doing those is much like more, just because it's like you have to think that it's not just coloring the comic, but it's frame by frame animation, coloring all the frames as well. So that really like way ups the pipeline of work. So this, I actually used a combination. I kind of like Spider-Verse it a little bit, where it's some 3D and then mixed with 2D, so that it allowed me to really push the envelope. So there's like 4 hidden covers. There's 6 additional pages that you can't see in the physical book that are part of the app. Every single panel, every page is animated. So, and there's like all these, there's 40 different Easter eggs you can find. And then on top of that, there's the 3 mini games that you can play. So a ton of content, and it made it possible, and will make it possible to release the next issue faster as well, that I'm doing this kind of pipeline, because I do this all as a single person. So
yeah, you actually put the staples in the book, if it was had staples. It's interesting how you mentioned kind of Spider-Verse on there. So what we're actually doing here is taking the modern leaps of storytelling, things like you mentioned Tron, you mentioned The Matrix. You're looking at AI, AR. You're looking at how animation is being put together now at cutting edge, like Spider-Verse, and then you're kind of giving us this in a condensed format. That's quite a lot of work Do you sleep at all?
Not as much as I probably should. No, I actually try. I try to sleep 8 hours a day because then I don't get tired at my desk. Like I'm human like anybody else. And I've tried to do the thing where I just do like 4 to 6 hours. And I can do that if I have to, like when it's crunch time. But generally that like makes me get to my afternoon and just like kind of like just zombie out. So I do try to sleep, but it is a lot of work to put these things together. So I wouldn't recommend it.
No. I'm going to touch on AI because it is such a hot topic at the minute. I was in my day job. I work in adult education in the UK, and I was in this particular site, and one of the advisors who's supposed to be there helping people write the resumes, write the CVs, was using a chatbot, an AI chatbot to write the CV.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second, the CV is supposed to be about a person. It's not just supposed to be an algorithm that just throws out words, because your CV or resume represents you. And it just got me thinking the whole AI thing. I mean, I am old school. I am so AI. I don't even listen when spell check tells me I've spelled the word wrong. I have to write in American, so my spellings are always a bit wonky. A little different, yeah. So for yourself, especially with the medium in which you're working and producing books and games, is AI a good thing or a bad thing, or is it kind of like how you use it that's the issue?
Yeah, so I think it's definitely both. For the art world, when it first came out, it was most definitely a bad thing, and like the way that it came out, there's a lot of theft, which is really awful, and then people charging other people and making all this money off of other people's work, which is really awful. And I remember like everybody was like, you have to do AI, you have to do AI. And I just like, it was just like, I just shut down. I was like, I'm not even going to look at it. At that time, I think that was like almost a year ago now when it was coming out for that. But since then I have like started to use it a little bit more and wrap my head around it. And I think there's ethical ways to use it and unethical ways to use it. And like the Machine Queen character was originally almost like a Skynet character where she was like this other alien thing that was like just definitely evil. But once I got more to grips with real AI and our reality, I realized that she's not the real villain. It's like probably someone behind her that's trying to control her. Like the Wizard of Oz, she's just like the big green face, but the real villain is like the person behind the curtain. And so, yeah, I think we do have to be careful, but I think that it's going to change everything. Like I use AI to basically give me like the bare bones. Like I could see using it for a CV where it would prevent you from doing something really stupid, like not putting your name on it or not putting your contact address on it or not hitting the things like you need to have education, you need to have your experience, you need to have like these certain things. Like AI will give you all that, but it'll make it look wrong. Like it won't exactly, like you can't just take what it spits out and just give it to somebody. They'll be like, what is this? This is ridiculous. But it'll give you like the skeleton.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of, I'll use that as an example. It's the language. So you've got somebody who maybe doesn't have the highest standard of English, and now they're using really long 4-5 syllable letter words to describe. Instead of saying hard work, and they're saying diligent. If I ask the person what diligent means, they'd be like, I have no idea. He'd be like, oh, okay. So if you can't relate to what you've written, then how are you supposed to move that forward? And I think what I see a lot, especially on Twitter, I see a lot of AI art of a certain curvy nature, and I think to myself, yeah, it looks great, but someone's just typed in into a generator, curvy woman must look like Catwoman. Poof, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a theme going on tonight. I don't know where that's from.
The Catwoman theme. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's like my analogy that I give is like it's going to change the medium again. So like my example is like if you look at YouTube, which is like an analog to television or supposed to be an analog to television, it's like television for everyone. And then you look at what kind of content YouTube comes at, and it's like Mr. Beast is a great example of like what a YouTube show is, and that's not television. It's not ever going to replace television. It's not even close to being what television is. So like you're always still going to have this idea of like a television show, and to make a television show, you need to have the idea of like storytelling and a team of people and actors. And YouTube you can try to do that on YouTube, and probably you can succeed at it as well, but like it's not, YouTube isn't geared for that kind of programming. So AI is going to be the same way, where it's going to give you this art, but like I feel like that art is going to be seen, like people are going to recognize it if they don't already, as like this is just AI art. It's not as valuable. Like it still can be good and it still can be useful, but it's not going to ever be as valuable as something that's like, hey, look, this is a story that like or like a theme that this artist deals with that's very like personal to them and it's human. And like you need that. You still need that even with the AI art. But I agree. It's like it is a little bit depressing to see like people like taking all this attention with just like this cookie cutter art. But yeah, there are certain things that AI could do that would be great though. Like there's a program that you can do, like say you want to do frame by frame animation, you can do the first frame of the coloring. Like so you have all the line work done, you can color the first frame and then the AI will programmatically color all the other frames for you.
Sure.
Which would be like a huge time saver for people, and it kills the production artist job, which is not great, but like that's still like that artist's vision. Like they drew all those lines, they just didn't spend all the time to do the in between coloring. The AI did it. So like certain things like that, I think are going to be great to help liberate people and have more creativity. But yeah, we're just in the Wild West now, where everybody's making this art that it's kind of cringy a little bit, and people are going to look back and be like, people really like that, and it's like that was the best that they could do. So they were excited, but you know,
you can download apps on your phone, can't you? Just to do all sorts of crazy stuff. So
yeah,
I think the proof is probably, as you said, it is going to be what you use it for and how you use it and how you promote what it is you create after that. So that's fine. Right, let's have a look at. So this is the page or a page. We've seen this already. These are the QR codes for the apps. You've got one there for your App Store, one for your Google Play. How does this work? You just download the app?
Yep, you just download the app and then you point your phone at the images and it comes to life. This preview gives you a look at like what the sound is like and what the animation's like, and then this image on the right actually turns into a shooting gallery. There's going to be a button that appears, and if you press it, you can actually use your phone's accelerometer or gyroscope to move the reticle, and then you just tap to start shooting, and you get to shoot at the demons that are flying after the character in the car.
So you get the app, so it interacts with the comic. Where do you get the comic from?
So the comic book is coming out this Friday, October 20th. It's on OpenSea, which is an NFT platform, but you don't need crypto to get it. You can get it with a credit card. You just need to get a MetaMask wallet, which is a crypto wallet. It will hold the NFT, and then we have a website that you go to, endoftheworldpizza.com, and the only way that you can get the comic is if you hold the NFT. And then you also get access to the metaverse. We're building a metaverse which works on mobile and desktop and VR, where you can actually walk into this world. It's called the DeadNet. That's the internet that they live in. And so you'll be able to go into it as one of the characters, and there'll be other games you can play inside there, and that's going to be ever expanding universe. So it kind of brings that aspect of it into this story as well.
Cool. You mentioned the website. Let's have a look, because I am super efficient like this sort of thing.
You can always just Google End of the World Pizza as well, but it's endoftheworldpizza.com.
Well, I'm going to let you a little secret, Rob. I didn't have the email address. Sorry, I didn't have the website address on my information, so that's exactly what I've just done. I've just Googled it while we were talking. Right, where we at? There he is. Eventually, technology.
There we go, yeah.
There we go. So let's have
you can scroll down, there's more.
Yeah. Yeah, there's the covers that we've looked at.
And if there'll be the button should pop up at the top. It probably was just taking for a little while to load. If you scroll back up a little bit, hopefully it has so there's that gives you to where you can get it. And we also have a Discord where I'm always on there. So come hang out with all the other undead drivers and talk about the end of the world.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's a limited release of 666 issues.
How apt for Halloween, just around the corner.
Yep.
I like that one. I like the coloured one, the yellowy one. I like that one. That one's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it's gold, and if you get that one, it's a random chance to get that one. You have like a 15% chance to get it. It comes with a gold foil cover. So on the physical book too. So you get like a limited edition physical copy of it.
If you get a physical book, is that worldwide or is it just States or?
Yeah, it'll ship anywhere except we're US, so there's like 9 countries we don't ship to, but it's not like UK is not one of the countries that is restricted to US, so
cool.
Most people can and then this just goes over some of the features. Like there's the comic scanner, so when you scan the skeleton, you can like open up the panels change, and the mini games and stuff like that.
Very honestly, I saw that on the in the trailer, didn't we? The shooting of the demons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine shooting Batman. There you go, bats, have it. Some mini bosses. And there's the tryout that you can have a look at.
Yeah.
Which is on the QRs as well.
Yeah.
Very well put together, Rob, I have to say.
Thank you.
Is the technical side more your forte and the art's a secondary thing, or is art your main thing and the technology elements the secondary, or is it just, or does it all just go together?
I mean, it's getting closer, but the art is a lot less frustrating than the technology. The technology is like I'll sit down and it's like maybe I'll spend like 4 hours and get nothing done because it didn't work. Whereas the art, if I sit down for 4 hours, I'm gonna get a lot done. So the technology is way more frustrating, but it's really satisfying. And I'm like a big video game nut, so like that's why there's the video game aspects built into it. I really love video games.
Cool.
So
again, you're probably totally wrong person. I own that many video games. 3 of them have the word Batman Arkham in the title.
Yeah. Those are good games though. Like that's
and the other one's a Madden's game. And I'm not even playing the new Maddens, I'm playing Madden 16.
Nice.
Because I like the mechanics. It's like fine. I don't particularly. I'm one of these people. I'm such an old guy. I don't understand why people go out and buy like new versions of Madden's. Like Madden's 24. It's still football. It hasn't changed.
New players. And, yeah.
It's like when people, the new wrestling game's out. It's like, all right, it's still the same wrestlers. What's going on?
I think if people play it, like maybe if they play it online, they realize that the community migrates away to the newer games, so they kind of have to like follow the community if they want to play. But
yeah, that's true.
I'm not I don't do a lot of like PvP stuff or.
I'm too insular. I'm just plays the Dolphins. There we go. Off we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arkham Knight's the only one that I don't own, just in case anyone asks me, because
I do. I have it, but it's still sealed. I didn't play. I never played it, so I got it for like Christmas one year, and still there.
I like Origins. I like Origins. Nobody likes Origins. I like Origins.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No comment from Rob, the gamer. Thank you. Your silence says everything. All right. If you want more information about the end of the world pizza, there it is. You can check out the Twitter. And also your Instagram on there as well. And yes, I still call it Twitter. Yes, I am still.
I know. We all call it Twitter.
I'm never going to call it anything
Even
else.
The articles call it formerly Twitter. So it's like, they're just like, we don't want to let it go.
Yeah. It's like
X is too common. Like it could be anything. Like Xbox, what? X what?
X-Men?
Yeah. There's too many X's already. Like, yeah.
You've been looking at my dating profile for too many X's. Sorry, bad joke. I warned you at the start. I guess there's only one question left for me to ask you, Rob. All right, the end of the world, pizza. What's the best pizza flavor?
Oh man, what's the best flavor? I mean, I just do classic. I do like cheese. That's a terrible answer. That's like the worst.
It's like let this bit out, shall we?
I can't mess with the classic, man. I go for cheese. Yeah, I mean, I can eat pepperoni and mushrooms and stuff like that. I just don't. Cheese. Yeah, I usually get cheese. I just love
cheese. That's just like cheese on. That's just like cheese on toast.
Cheese on toast. Yeah. Well, with some red sauce too. And some garlic maybe.
So cheese on toast.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite?
I'm glad you asked. I like a meat feast. It's got to be a thin crust.
Thin crust? Okay.
Thin crust. It's got to have pepperoni, jalapenos, chili beef, a bit of chicken on there.
See, that's what's great about pizza. It accepts all proteins. You can just put them on there and you're good.
It's all food groups.
Yeah. It's basically just the bread that holds it all together.
Not the way I could. Well, not the way my wife. I'll have to tell you the story. My wife, we'd only been dating a short while, and for some reason, we got a pizza in to cook at home, and she put it in the oven, and it must have been on for like half an hour. I was like, Sugar Plum, the pizza must be done by now, you know.
Right.
So she had a look in the oven, and the top was raw. The base underneath was black.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, how did you manage to do this? So it's like, to this day, I have no idea how she's done it. This is why God created takeout.
Yeah. It always tastes better when you didn't have to make it.
True that. That is so true. Give us your 60-second pitch on why people should be heading on over to the End of the World Pizza website and getting the book and the app.
So it's the most advanced comic book you're ever going to read. It's a combination of a comic book, a cartoon, and a video game where the main character is actually played by the reader. And I've looked at many of other augmented reality comic books, and I know that this one's the most advanced. It has the most content per issue, the most frames of animation per page. There's 4 hidden covers, 6 hidden pages. There's 3 mini games built into it. It uses technology that you already have, and it's still a physical book because I love physical media. So it really combines everything that I really love and also everything that I'm afraid of with AI and the end of the world. And so it's just this great mashup of technology and horror and cyberpunk and noir. So I think it's really fun, and if you checked it out, you would really enjoy it. And you can try it out for free, so you don't even have to take my word for it. You can just go to endoftheworldpizza.com and check out the free demo and try it out for yourself.
Perfect. Well said. Well done, Rob. There you go. The End of the World Pizza. And if I ordered a cheese pizza by itself, it would be the end of my world for Chile. I'm never going to let that go, just so you know. Rob, thank you so much for spending the time. I know how busy you are with the book and getting everything ready for the 20th. So I really appreciate your time, man. Well done.
Yeah, I appreciate it too, man. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime. Right, that's it for another show. Don't forget to check out the UCPN for all your favorite shows. You saw the trailer for it earlier. K-Pop Cosmos is back this month. If you like your comics of a certain age, you can always check out the Old Timers Comic Book Show for those comics of yesteryear. And of course, you Big Two fans are well served with the No Price podcast for you Marvel heads. And for all you DC fanatics, you've got the Definitive Crusade. What more could you want? I don't know. A pod about the Miami Dolphins? I'll get there when we win the Super Bowl. Don't you worry. Rob, last time, man. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
As for everyone else, I've been your host, Johnny the Machine Hughes. And as always, adios.
Visit undercovercapes.com for the latest and greatest podcasts via the Undercover Capes Podcast Network. Also visit our parent company website, comiccrusaders.shop, all about comic pop culture.